Welcome to episode 3 of the San Francisco and San Jose in N-Scale. Every winter when it starts to get dark earlier and earlier, I wish I lived in Arizona where they don't observe daylight savings time. But winter is a great time for model railroading, and Al at Rasch Studios has been hard at work since our last update. Starting at the south end of Bayshore Yard began the tedious work of installing the yard ladder, painting, ballasting, weathering, and wiring the yard tracks, and troubleshooting all the track work for flawless operation. With the ladder good to go, it was time to head north towards the Bayshore Roundhouse and engine facilities. The line between San Francisco and San Jose is where Southern Pacific would send most of their steam engines to run out their final miles. Bayshore Yard was very important for the Southern Pacific, and you could often find its roundhouse full of steam engines, both operational and needing repair. One of the more interesting points in the yard is the elevated sand track. But the real star of the show is the roundhouse and turntable big enough for Southern Pacific's AC-class cab forwards. Unfortunately, we found out the hard way that the Walthers Union City Roundhouse was not lining up with the 130-foot turntable. While waiting for the correct roundhouse to ship in, Al turned his attention back to the yard. And with over 10 feet worth of storage, everyone was sure happy with how great it came out. It's so exciting to see a yard so big, with plenty of room for car storage and operations. Al said it's the biggest yard he had ever built. Probably the biggest challenge in model railroading is compromise, and the roundhouse sure taught that lesson effectively. Given the choice between the correct shape of the building and the correct amount of engine stalls, we went for less stalls and began focusing our attention on the transfer table, boiler shop, and machine shop just north of the roundhouse. We made an audible from the original track plan, electing to sacrifice a few feet of yard in order to include the 23rd Street station. Next up was the main line and north end yard ladder, making our way back towards the machine shop and transfer table.
I'm driving nails in my coffin every time I drink a bottle of booze.
Progress bogged down a bit around the transfer table area. The transfer table was old and primitive. It was also not wide enough in terms of stalls and too short in terms of table length. Challenges like this could bring many modelers frustration or failure. It's times like this I'm thankful for Al's experience and expertise when it comes to building model railroads. So far, the layout is approximately 30% complete. As we enjoy this view of a San Francisco-bound daylight passing a Los Angeles-bound overnight train, we're all so excited for delivery sometime in the next few months. 2024 was an eventful year as we broke ground literally and figuratively on the layout. In these last couple looks, we hope to wish everybody a great Christmas and a peaceful 2025.